Here we go again. BBQ has their way. Get on the blue side this time around.
Yeah, we'll see what the priority is on the blue side. Usually Scion looms as a blue side ban, but against Kingzone it was blue and red side banned by BBQ. And the Azir will be taken away. Talia into the Azir, didn't go the way BBQ hoped to. Syndra into the Azir, I should say, in the first game. Syndra did some good things, and it could be one that Tempt returns to. Maybe not in this series. Ghost is definitely a serial Kog'Maw player, and Kog'Maw being removed from the meta in patch 8.3 really impacted their drafting choices for BBQ, but he's back, and they don't want to deal with a blue side Kog'Maw draft, so we see it banned away by Kingzone. That's an Ezreal.
I don't know what that is.
It's probably prey related.
I don't know who Dodo Real is, but that's what they said. I suppose that's prey. I think you were spot on. Lots of fan signs for prey tonight.
If it's Ezreal, it's certainly not about Ghost. I'm putting it out there. Prey is one of the most famous Ezreals of all time.
Shots fired.
Kalista ban on red side. Okay, we've only had 2 teams play the Kalista, but seems like King's don't want to deal with that pick. Does mean they may have to deal with the Olaf, because guess what? If you don't take it away from Peanut, you know exactly what sort of hurt he'll give out. So takeaway pick on the Olaf, but this is one of those drafts where the OPs are left open. On red side, they banned away champions. We never see ban on patch 8.4. On the red side, that means there's a bonanza of power picks available, and it's Varus Galio on the red side.
I know Olaf is strong, but Galio has been strong for a long time, and Varus is also incredibly big in the AD carry role. They give 2 of those picks away. I want to see some really strong picks here from BBQ now. They're thinking about the Corki in the mid lane, very common. Into the Galio, can farm up and be a huge source of damage for your team.
And there's still what-ifs here, because Olaf is seen as a blocker pick for Varus in many drafts, because he has the Ragnarok to ignore the chains of corruption and other general peel that Varus has, and Varus has no escape. So we see Trick get a big lead that might be very fruitful for the side of BBQ. You're right, they take the scaling option in the role of the mid lane, but they're also considering taking the scaling option in the role of the AD carry. If you take enough scaling, you might just be slammed down by the Galio and the Varus' lane control. So Olaf usually wants pushing lanes. So far, while Corki can equalize lanes, hard push not really available to him early. There's some options available to Kingzone. Let's see how they round out the first round of their draft.
Give this guy strength. I think he's a student. And Camille coming on through.
Now we have the guaranteed Galio ultimate coming through, the ultimatum into the hero's entrance.
That's a scary first 3 picks, Papa.
Yeah, especially to give over to Kingzone, because if they decide a battlefield's there, we know they're going to commit to it. Game 1, it showed us this. Ban start, and because it's there telegraphing it to be a top lane Camille, Fiora is going to be banned away. Crazy played Fiora in the last series, so they're showing some respect that the skill matchup, which does err to the side of the Fiora, will not be available.
Kha'Zix taken away from Peanut. BBQ feels like the guy who saw a cool new pick and they pick up the Olaf, and Kingzone are like, well, I guess we'll just go with these other strong picks. But looking to target Peanut, they already take away his Sejuani. The Kha'Zix are going to be taken off the field as well. What else are they going to consider targeting here? Maybe a Zac, something like that.
Would add to the engaged synergy, even though Peanut has moved away from the Zac recently. They have strong lanes, so I think they have the breathing room to go for a Zac and potentially be invaded on by the Olaf. And they will go for the combat junglers, going to take away the Jax as well. BDD fans in the audience showing their love with that hand signal.
BDD is a cupcake on that sign.
Oh. We were treated to the MVP video here in the stadium where they have their pet pig, which was suitably adorable.
It's so, so cute.
And
highly recommend. I put that on my Twitter because it was so cute.
Well, we're going to overpower the bot lane. Varus Braum. Right now, Braum is undefeated for Gorilla. Will be his 8th game, 7-0 so far. They have a very dominant 2v2. It's almost, well, I'm going to say it is impossible to outdraft that 2v2 when you already have Tristana locked in. Unless we're going range support, unless the specific range support, I was thinking of a Braum, for example, to punish them is locked in. But Ignar is more likely to jump onto the Thresh, which has been successful for them recently. Are they really going to draft more scaling? I think they are.
Well, when you already got your hands in the cookie jar, might as well dive in and pick up as many cookies as possible, and they'll do exactly that.
What's the scaling support choice? Find a scaling support, BBQ.
Viger. Something I've been seeing a lot on the ladder.
How's that treating you?
It works from time to time. On solo queue, it's surprisingly effective, but I don't want to see it here, Papa.
We wait and see. An Ignar special is always a possibility to happen. Does have that very deep champion pool. It's usually aggressive. Seems like it's finally selected. It's going to be the Taric.
Ooh.
Necessary with how squishy the team is, but Varus Braum is going to have a field day with Tristana Taric. Unless Tristana Taric goes very aggressive at level 2 or level 3. And look who's
quick.
back. Back
that
again.
Was really quick, Papa.
It is the old favorite for Peanut, his famous Nidalee that was never defeated on the Rocks Tigers, undefeated in over a year's worth of play. It went down in the first series, but it wasn't Khan in the top lane. It was Rascal. And welcome back, Nidalee, the old favorite of Peanut.
Peanut never one to back down from a challenge. He says, you want a battle ward in my jungle? I'm just going to go into your jungle. And I love it. I love the aggressive nature of Peanut.
Oh.
Certainly works with his play style, but will it work in this game? I'm
quaking in my boots at this draft from Kingzone. Super aggressive, guaranteed engage with the Hextech Ultimatum and the Galio. The Galio to rotate first, scaling in all 3 lanes from BBQ. Kingzone will need to make some grave mistakes in the first 20 minutes because the reliability of this aggressive-minded comp will mirror the execution of their aggression in game 1. They've got a whole lot going on, and BBQ, best of luck.
Best of luck to them. You mentioned all the scaling in them. They have the Corki in the mid lane, sure to have an easy time against Galio. The GP up top, maybe a bit of a harder time up against Camille, but then, of course, Tristana down in the bottom lane, the hardest of times. We'll see how they can make it into that late game.
Oh.
There's definitely going to be some pressure on the Trick to help keep Nidalee away and to somehow help out those lanes.
Not often does the strangulation become implied, but the amount of early power on Kingzone's side. They've got the WMDs. They're ready to let them off. They have so much power on their side. Let's see how they go. It's a treat to see Peanut back on the Nidalee, 3rd time this season.
Well, everybody looking towards this draft for another aggressive game. Let's get into it. Game number 2 of Kingzone versus BBQ.
We're starting already.
Close. Very, very close on that one. Doubtful if they could have followed up, but had the stun landed, certainly they could have chunked him out. But either way, that's going to be a flash very early on and already a weak lane in the bottom side.
Yeah, it does mean now that the 2v2 losing lane is down a flash for even more early game presence allowed for the side of Kingzone. I think Peanut kind of has a paddock to jump around on the Nidalee. But we have seen Peanut be a bit too aggressive and be caught in the enemy jungle a couple of times. So we'll see if that sort of turnaround can happen. The major objective they were trying to claim bot side was a ward at the enemy. Red buff, because if you put 2 and 2 together, Olaf loves to fall low in his jungle to power farm it, and Nidalee loves to kill people in the enemy jungle. So that's some important information for Peanut to have. Never played the Nidalee on SK Telecom T1 an entire year's worth of play.
They never let him, Bob, but they're like, nope.
The meta didn't let it necessarily, but it was one of those things where it didn't really fit the identity of an SKT jungler. He has that bigger option on Kingzone to take a carry role when he wants to, and largely he hasn't. He has been on the Jarvan, he has been on the Zac, he has been on the team picks. Sejuani in game 1 has been pretty much comfort for him, but does get moments like this where the draft is set up for Peanut to be the star. And when he gets the Olaf, we already saw what he does on that. So this could definitely be a big game for Peanut.
Certainly everybody who is fans of Kingzone wanted that repeat performance from Peanut, who certainly is gathering a lot of fans, more fans than he already has, one of the most popular players. And speaking of which, an early ward from Crazy does get punished with an early flash.
Second flash blown in the laning phase for the team that is on the scaling side of things. See what Olaf can do, because usually Olaf trades upon having strong lanes to invade. Already difficult to invade Nidalee, who is slippery at the worst of times. And a lot of gank assist in top, in mid, in bot. Every lane has lockdown CC pre-6 and post-6. So profitable lanes to the side of Kingzone. But Olaf wants to look for the drop. Old pick for Trick. He's got the Predator taken on the Jarvan. Of course, we'll take it on the Olaf as well. It's going to be Electrocute on both Nidalee and the Galio from the side of Kingzone.
Certainly, Tens is going to have to be careful. He took fleet footwork with teleport. So if a flash taunt comes in and you can't get the Valkyrie off, you might be looking at a straight-up death as long as that spear comes in. Speaking of which, BDD thinking about it, almost spotted
He's
out there.
He's pinged out there.
Yeah. So there you go. Does spot it out.
It's jungling top side. They're thinking about a turret dive onto Khan, who's very slippery on the Camille. It's maxing W, which seems standard in the matchup against Gangplank because you can't take Q trades.
Well, here we go. Trick coming up on the top side, but it's really just to help out with an extra axe as he did his farming on the top.
We like this lane ward because they knew that Trick was playing top side and taking the enemy Krugs. Why not ward your own Krugs as the collapse happens?
Ooh, Ignar looking for the stun here, but Gorilla, good response. Gonna allow Peanut to farm up as much as possible before he's forced out of there. Doing a good job of invading into Trick's jungle as he goes into his own.
Early laning phase, not enough AP to actually power through the backline waves. The top lane, Crazy doing well. So for now, at least, pressure not ratcheted up as high as we might have expected. Khan fell low to the chunky out in the gank. He's also behind in experience, only now catches up to level 5. So no all-in attempted by Khan, even with flash advantage. And so far, Nidalee's aggression hasn't turned into anything. So not a terror of a time yet for the side of BBQ.
Early cooldown boots, extremely early from the side of Trick. He wants to get in there and get in there fast. Generally, you see the boots taken early for the Predator, obviously, but not upgraded this early. Does mean his clear, rather, will be a little bit slower, but certainly his ganks will be stronger.
Yeah, very strong clearer. The last champion I can remember who rushed cooldown reduction boots from the jungle was Rengar back around 2014 Worlds in Korea. You remember Dandy would always favor that build. Interact with the Predator well, so you can understand why he goes for. He's level 4, but gallivanting down bot lane with the water walking.
Here we go, Predator coming in, flashing away from the Dazzle there, and Gorilla gonna hop onto his teammates as they do run away. Only one flash, and I guess a heal there on the side of Prey to get them out of dodge.
And that's the option you have with the Tristana Taric, is to engage with the Bastion Link onto the Tristana and the Dazzle. Doesn't find a kill, and now Kingzone jungling top side, threatening a turret dive. Will at least try to zone away the Gangplank, who's level 5 awkwardly. Would love to pick up just a little bit more experience to ult the wave. The timing here is actually perfect for Kingzone. There's not an option available for Crazy. He just wants to zone him away from experience. The longer he doesn't hit level 6, the happier he is.
Now Trick has to come up and help him, but now it turns into a 2-on-2. Who's going to get there quicker? Obviously the Galio. Let's see if they want to continue in, but it doesn't look like it. As BDD spotted here on a ward. They will just head away. The blasting plant has spawned by now, even though it is a bit later on 8.4. And here we go. Finally, they do engage, and Trick is going to go down to a long spear from Peanut. First blood goes over to the jungler.
Yeah, they disengaged with the blast plant. This went straight back in because they could see Trick on the ward. Squishy as squishy can be with no Ruby Crystal towards the Cinderhulk. He dies. Ultimatum long enough to allow the hero's entrance even at level 1. To be summoned there too easy for the side of Kingzone, and they get a bonus control ward as well.
Speaking of control wards, Crazy investing into that lane ward. It does finally get taken out. Let's see how this happens.
They went out on the blasting plant, and then Khan just says, well, this is going to be a kill, and it was too easy going on to Trick. Remember that it's no Tracker's Knife, so Peanut was always going to be relatively buff. And speaking of Peanut,
Crazy getting low, and Peanut is bloodthirsty, picks up another kill. Khan nearly loses his life for it, but in the end, very well calculated.
Can any team be more relatively buff than a team with Peanut with less warding on the map? You can go Red Smite as if it's solo queue now because there is no Tracker's Knife. He's already gone Legendary on Olaf, seeing him run away on the Nidalee as well. And they don't even need this to happen. He's shown that finally he has been able to play Zac, Sejuani, the Cinderhulk junglers as recently as Game 1. How about this as a palate cleanser all the way back to Nidalee?
Essentially having his way with the Rift so far, and we're only 8 minutes in. The wonder of Nidalee when it goes right. Still waiting for some kind of gank on the mid lane with the flash from BDD, especially because the QSS not built from the side attempt. Just going to delay that as much as possible. We'll have to wait and see. So, Trick himself just hitting level 6. Perhaps he'll be looking for a chance to redeem himself after a pretty weak start in this game. He'll be picking up the red buff and moving towards a lane, perhaps that he could gank. So far out of those lanes, it looks like bottom is the cleanest, the one he might have the most success in.
And the issue is, though, because his experience has been stolen, level 6 now compared to Peanut level 7, and he's gone no Cinderhulk, he's gone for the very early boots too, he's really squishy. When he ults at Varus, he loses the free resist, and he might just straight up die to focus fire, so they have to be very specific about the lane they choose, and also respect the hero's entrance. That is about 15 seconds or less away from cooldown being up, so it's not as trivial. And maybe even the chain link, maybe even the ultimate from Taric needs to be invested at the right moment, or he could just straight up die. Worst thing he can do right now is go for a trade kill bot lane because they really need to double down on trading up, and that's already difficult to do when you've opted into scaling everywhere. And now the Olaf's behind in terms of combat effectiveness, the Nidalee counter jungling is even more controlled for Nidalee.
Yep, double ward in that side with the trinket. Also lays down a trap onto the Krugs just to make sure she has the timer on that. And immediately goes for this Cloud Drake with the help of Gorilla. Nobody's in there, no vision. It looks like a free one for Kingzone on this side. As Temps, again, he's just cleaning up the mid wave. So here we go, Cloud Drake gonna go over to the side of Kingzone.
Actually took the Gathering Storm on the jungle Nidalee. Interesting, I saw the Gathering Storm proc onto the Nid. And you talk about the bottom lane being a great place to take objectives. I think the Rift Herald will be equally as free in this game because of all the scaling. BBQ wave goodbye to early Drakes, to early Rift Heralds. They have to be so much more conservative. It's why we don't really understand first pick Olaf into weaker lanes. But maybe Olaf can get a trade here.
Yeah, here we go. Not looking so good for Khan. He's just trying to survive here, but the barrel coming in. And finally, that last swing of the two axes as Trick finally gonna pick up a kill in this one.
And that was the teleport from Gorilla, not from the mid laner. So that's why they didn't complete it there. Wasn't gonna lead to anything, too late to make something happen. Looking for Trick in his jungle though.
Oh, he snuck over here. That's a nice chunk of damage, and Trick even flashes the wall as he wants nothing to do with the 2-0 Nidalee.
You know, it was probably the right move. He wanted to get out of there. Did not want to go for any damage calculations to play tricky. Peanut will take a second camp as well. It's not going to be a buffless game, but it's certainly going to be a painful one. As Camille's joining, they want to kill Tempt.
It's going to be hard for him to get out of this one. Trying to get in range, and it almost was a solo kill over to Peanut, who's just tanking the turret. Maybe a little bit too much as the flash comes out of there. Now the TP, have they gone too far is the question. It's going to be Khan trying to make his way out, but unlimited access, they're going to re-engage here. And that Olaf is way too low. Down he goes, not tanky at all. Now it's 3-on-1. They are styling on BBQ, but maybe a little bit too much. Here comes Corki. He's going to be able to pick up one, and Khan getting extremely low. Gonna pick up that plant. We're getting the mega zoom out here.
Oh!
Gonna zoom into Khan now, who's trying to get that hook shot up. Ignar trying to go around the right side.
Okay.
Galio goes down to the turret. It's an execution, and Khan is looking to get out the flash. He dodges it. He's trying to outplay them. The Valkyrie comes in.
He's gonna live.
Nothing they can do. Unbelievable, Khan. He pulls off the impossible again.
How does he always do it? On every champion, he surprises you. Gets away from all of it. Brain Gorilla walking up. The execution as well. Kingzone were too aggressive. They should have been punished, but they only give up one kill.
You said it before, every game looks like an exhibition game. Khan feels like he's playing solo queue. try to tilt his opposition. Definitely not a feel-good moment for BBQ after that play.
Now we dial it down again because apparently the game must go on. Ghost doesn't enjoy that reality. He's getting slammed in the 2v2 as expected. Going for the Tristana when Tarek had been roaming as well. Bot lane completely uninvolved in this game. Brain Gorilla walked up to mid lane, got some autos in, but could do no more. Prey always looking for his options when it comes to a Chains of Corruption onto Ghost, as I guess...
okay, this is the replay of how BDD died to a turret.
He just walked into it, I think. Wasn't quite in parlay range. On the main screen, we've got action going on.
Peanut is at it again. They're going to knock away that Galio. The Cannon Barrage comes in. Another situation doesn't look good for Kingzone. But again, it looks like they're going to get out here. The Axe coming in. They're turning out the Trick. Cosmic Gradient's down the Dazzle. Looking to get onto Gorilla, who flashes away after using the perfectly timed ultimate. Now they're turning out the Trick. Peanut, he wants blood again. He's going to get one. And flashing in now is Prey. One auto would do it, but he misses. And finally, Tempt coming in. The perfect block.
How does no one die?
What is happening on the Rift? Kingzone are untouchable.
Are we sure we shouldn't pause the game and check for bugs? Because they just never die in any of these. They take wrong trades, they're too aggressive, but they never pay for it. And they're always there as a team of 5 to back each other up.
And they always want more. They're never satisfied. A TP
Speaking
is
of
coming
more,
in. They will go for another kill. They're going for Ghost. There's one. Can they make it 2? The cleanse on Ignar, will it save his life? The answer here is looking like a no. The heal coming in, Peanut goes too deep. Again, they're just playing with their food. The Phosphorus Bomb misses Gorilla. And again, they're just styling on BBQ all day and all night.
It feels like a 6v5 in this series because there's always another Kingzone guy rocking out with a teleport or a roam to try to make the kills happen. Apparently there's a top lane happening in all of this. I didn't know. I thought the lane assignments were done ages ago. We're only 14 minutes in. There's been 8 kills, but there's been unlimited action. Tempt in all of this is very fed, we have to remember, and had some great escapes of his own. The rest of his team a bit dazed, wondering what's happened on the Rift in the first 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, we got to take a little bit of a breather after all that action. I thought it couldn't get more after game 1, but I was wrong. We're going to take another look at this very extended replay.
It will show you live picture-in-picture, but not action happening there. Peanut goes in, but the turnaround options here are great. The disengage on BDD was big, actually. The Buster shot was perfect, and when Trick came in, they realized they needed to make their escape through the turret. And then you thought, with Tempt coming in and the ultimate, the Cosmic Radiance being armed, that this would be bad news for Kingzone. But the Chains of Corruption to stop Ghost doing any consistent damage. BDD able to occupy Tempt on the top side. No one ever dies against Kingzone as Gorilla walks up and basically has the biggest note button ever to the Corki, who wonders how he could not kill the 200 health 80 carry. They back away from all of it. Outrageous stuff from Kingzone, and a confirmation that Korea does a lot of the best things right in League of Legends. We have the best fiestas as well.
At least we do when Kingzone is playing the very extended replay. Like I said, it just never seems to end. I'm just glad they got Poggers enabled in time for this series, because certainly you can put a label on it. That would be the one I would use. Peanut just...
that last Tio actually told him, and he was he couldn't get the E in because the turret went behind the turret and opened up space. Outrageous. Ignar really wants to flash.
Let's see if he can. The answer's going to be no. Prey shutting him down with the help of his teammates. He picks up the kill. And a second Cloud Drake. You guys wanted action. This is certainly another way to get some more action in the game.
Peanut should maybe not go up and trifle with Tempt, who is very powerful in this game. But understandably, everyone in Kingzone has decided they're Superman. No one wanted to be Lois Lane or any of the other characters. We've got 5 Supermen running across the side of Kingzone. I don't know if that works with the lore, but they're rolling with it. Here's Khan roaming into mid lane. They're going to break the turret. Kingzone DragonX get the first turret of the game.
It's very hard to lose your smile as you cast a game like this, as they're some of the best players in the world, and they love to just make things entertaining. We thought it was a grudge, but perhaps they just wanted to fight tonight. This is not, you know, that steady a calculated Korean League of Legends play. This is Kingzone saying we are better than you, and we are going to beat you as quickly as humanly possible.
And it's a big departure for a couple of their losses. Think of the series against Jin Air, where the games are going along with the latest first blood in the history of League of Legends at 39 minutes in a Kingzone series when they decided they wanted to play scaling. You always knew that the pin would drop and they would decide to play for early game. This is the early game God comp from the side of Kingzone. They have so much damage to come. There is the outside chance that you get all your carries online from BBQ and can do it in the late game. But the late game is looking 15 minutes away, which is an eternity, given how much happened in the first 15 minutes of this game.
Well, Trick wants to accelerate things himself, but he's on a ward. Immediately the pings come out. My only thought here is that Kingzone are going to take advantage of this to try to make a play. We'll see if that actually happens. Peanut, he's just waiting for it. They're going to make the play happen themselves.
Who's flanking who?
Comes in, they're like, wait, what the hell? Are we the ones that are debated? The answer is yes. As crazy, no way out of this one. Hextech Ultimatum even used to secure that kill.
Sometimes it doesn't feel fair when the enemy Braum teleports behind you. It already accounted for everything else. The Galio was in mid lane. They will get a turret from this, so that's still good news. The side of BBQ. Prey's probably not going to try to repel 1v2. I say probably.
You said probably. Maybe you said it a little bit too fast. This Ghost is getting low.
He got the movement speed.
Yeah, look at that. The Dazzle misses.
Does it. He did it.
He actually did it. 1v2 Prey. He doesn't want to let Peanut get all the praise in this one.
He had the presence of mind to turn around and get the rune there, the fleet footwork movement speed just to pick up the kill. Outrageous stuff from Prey, who sidesteps the Dazzle as well. My headset's about to fall off. Yeah. We had so much action here.
Predator comes in from Chick. They're like, what? You really want to fight us? I don't think so. As meanwhile, Peanut says, okay, I'll let my teammates get some action. I'll take the objective this time. Rift Herald is going to go down to our resident Fiend line.
And that's the crazy thing, is that you have to use words like probably about a damn 1v2. Why are you not running away, Prey? You're going to lose the turret, because he turns around, throws out the Chains of Corruption. That is a target ability when Prey uses it. Has the presence of mind to turn around first to get the fleet footwork movement speed, and then to casually sidestep the Dazzle. Outrageous skill. And we said 5 Supermen. It keeps being reiterated by what we see on the Rift. Everyone has decided that they are the carry of Kingzone. There is Prey at the center of the LCK, someone that everyone here knows. Walks up, they continue to play the map, and in the midst of all of the excitement, they are 3,000 gold up as well.
You ask who's the real carry of this team, and it feels like if you have to look on the opposite side, even with all that BDD did in other games and in other, other splits in summer last year, it seems like he's almost taken the backseat on the Galio, which is funny to say, in the mid lane.
But consider this. Everyone on the side of Kingzone has taken the backseat. We've seen Khan jump onto Gangplank, take one for the team, throw out some ultimates. In the late game, he'll get his chance, but he's role-playing Peanut. He's played Zac, he's played Sejuani, he's played the tank junglers. BDD, sometimes it's Galio Scion time. He's taking a step back. Prey has had plenty of games where he looked like a utility AD carry. He role-played one and bought Aegis in game number 1. Yeah. And Gorilla's a support, but he's had his Alistair moments where he's carried. The fact that they can all take turns carrying, but also walk up and smite steal. That is the sign of a great team, Valdez. That is something no squad has ever had. 5 people that can turn on and turn off, whether they are the primary carry of a game.
It's a team of legends, or at least that's what it's becoming. A lot of these players, beginning to make an even bigger name for themselves. Some of them already have built that name. Guys like Peanut, Prey, and Gorilla. BDD and Khan looking to solidify that. Now he's just going 1v3 at this point. Finally, he's going to have some help from behind. The double taunt comes in, and the flash on in with the Justice Punch. That's going to be 1 kill. He's going to be locked down. Trick, you're not going anywhere. as it is now 5-on-4 as they push them away. Gonna pick up a couple of kills and probably the Baron off of this.
They over-pursue because they want the Baron on the back end. They'll clear the couple of wards. They'll turn on to it. Olaf's dead. The hopes for BBQ of contesting this Baron are dead. Kingzone DragonX want to go to 12-match wins. Pick up a couple more, and they are guaranteed first spot after KT's misfire yesterday.
That they are. Kingzone, we thought they had reached their limit. They were the ones with formerly Longju in last season, last year. They were the ones slated to be the victors, but they look almost twice as strong here in 2018. I can't believe I'm saying it, but certainly looking that way as, well, we have just another fantastic Kingzone replay, as if we didn't have enough of those.
And they just walk in there, 3v1, they think, as the Nidalee looks like free food. Unfortunately, Galio and everyone from the side of Kingzone are there to back up Peanut. Went Rod of Ages for a bit more extra health. That'll allow him to live until the ultimate from the Galio arms, and then the dreams are crashed from BBQ. Peanut will have to use his Rift Herald at some point, as you can see, everyone has a go at damage this game. 4 Supermen, and then Gorilla saying, but I'm not about the damage. Please, please, Papa, please let me, please let me be on their level. You're great, Gorilla. I love you too.
He's doing nearly 3 times the damage as Ignar, so there's something for that to be said. He certainly has had some PogChamp plays himself on the Braum. He's 7-0. He's undefeated on the pick. He's looking to get 8-0. We'll see if they can close this one out. Still early, funnily to say, as we're here at 23 minutes. But again, Baron is taken, the Rift Herald is up, and the push begins.
Rift Herald was summoned as they were taking the Drake as an afterthought. Continue to push in. A lot of siege here. Varus and Nidalee to poke around. Second charge comes in. Meanwhile, this is what happens when Gangplank has no lane pressure elsewhere. Khan will take the turret. They get the mid lane turret. They don't need Banner of Command. Unnecessary for Kingzone DragonX. Maybe they shouldn't be allowed to buy it, Valdez.
Even Shelly's going all out. She's got 1,000 health. She's like, no, I got 1 charge left in me. I'm going to go for this inhibitor. Gets that extra damage with the inhibitor. Peanut inside the base saying, come at me, bro. As the push never seems to end. 4 members in the bottom side. Galio, BDD alone up in the top side. There's still a minute and a half left over on this. Okay.
Man.
On this Baron, and Peanut says, hey, Ghost, I heard you wanted to play up against Kingzone. Well, I'm going to push you out of this one. See you
Neither
later.
of these champions have built for poke, and yet Prey and Nidalee together can probably kill someone with 2 Qs. Ult here for the emergency engage.
They're going to try for it. Running at the Varus, and he disappears. As he said, he's got that ability, but he disappears. And Temps now getting extremely low. They're fighting for their lives, but they have nothing left to fight for at this point. Kingzone with the Baron up, Bannon minion. That's Steve Bannon himself coming on into this one, trying to get the win in 25 minutes perhaps, as the super minions pushing on in the mid lane. That's gonna do it, guys. The curtains are closing early. The show's over. Getting that last kill is Peanut, and down will go the Nexus. The Zonias once again, not the first time we've seen that. Quick 2-0 from Kingzone DragonX.
And Bruce Bannon is what we call the Bannon minion when it comes to Kingzone, because he turns into the Hulk, and Kingzone DragonX turned into the Hulk this series. They lost to BBQ in the first round robin. They were having none of that this time. Everyone decided at the same time to fire, and they summoned something amazing against BBQ Olivers. Was it clean? No. Was it exciting? Oh God, yes. Unbelievable performance by them. They consider themselves to be the best. They are the best. They had 2 series ahead of the competition. And on this week, we saw a lot of weird and wonderful stuff on 8.4, but Kingzone bookended with 4 amazing games.
Kingzone, only one of the teams here in Korea that can jump onto the Rift against a team that's decent and make it look that easy. They win that hard. Other teams, they win, but not like that. And it's exciting, it's fun, it's action-packed, it's a joy to cast. BBQ, whenever this happens too, the other team always looks dumbfounded. They're like, what the hell? How did we lose that fast? They're left with their heads scratching and mouth agape, and it's just not good feels. They'll have to go back to the drawing board for this one.
And when the meta suits them, you have this quandary where they have 5 better players than you, and also, if their macro is on point, they have that going as well. They have experience, they do not tilt. There's just a stacking level of dread that is brought, as any of the game's replays are going to be definitely noteworthy. This was the attempt at an all-in. They knew they would lose around the banner of Command Minion if they didn't engage. Engage they did, but unfortunately it was only folly, as Kingzone took down closest target, cleaned it up, even went for some fountain diving, because why not? And Kingzone DragonX, best team in Korea, will roll on.
The game is even faster as BBQ draft only scaling. They're like, okay, tail between our legs, let's try to scale, let's try to survive. And Kingzone took it as a challenge. They're like, really? Okay, we'll end it even faster. 25 minutes to end that one. Let's take a look at the game facts. Close your eyes. Only 3 kills for the side of BBQ. Actually, more damage than the side of Kingzone in terms of 2 members, but it just doesn't matter, Papa.
It's because it's a team effort. The Nidalee has the most damage on their side. They have 3 members over 10,000 and 1 above 9,000. Not a top-heavy team by any means, and Gorilla threw in and brawled where he could. Clean win for the side of Kingzone DragonX. They played with their food. They let it go around. They played a couple of games. You know, would they play the same way against other teams? We already know the answer is yes. The games against SKT, if anything, were more one-sided than the games we saw today, just because Kingzone looked a bit more vulnerable, walking up and taking trades that could be turned around. But then the buddy moments where Gorilla kept everyone alive in the bot side, where they were always there to rotate with the Nidalee. It's something special every time you watch Kingzone, just because you never know what it's going to be. They can show every genre and do it well, and they were too good for BBQ.
Certainly, so we are going to hear from them in the interview. It's funny how the majority of their members managed to stay humble after victories like this. I'm curious to see what they have to say. We've talked to them so many times that perhaps they're running out of words at this point, but 25 minutes, 37 seconds, not the fastest game we've had so far in 2018 LCK, but you'd have to imagine that the fastest game was Kingzone on another day. As, well, all this information tells you about it. We're still deciding on the MVP. As Papa said, it was a team effort, so definitely hard to pick out one person, but let's see who it's going to be. It will be Prey on the Varus.
He deserved it. He had the most PogChamp moment of the game. His turnaround auto to get the speed up into sidestep on the Dazzle. Outrageously talented. And yet, he's only picked up his 2nd MVP because there's so many people stealing votes that poor Prey can only find 2 on the season. Despite the fact that his team has won again and again and again. Prey is still a legend here. He's one of the institutions of Korean League of Legends. Still around after all these years. A winner in the 3rd ever tournament. OGN run many years ago. And just as good as he ever was.
Here we go, guys. We're going to go into the interview. Very curious to see what they have to say after that series, but I'll hand it over to Ji-sun for the translation.
가져오게 됐는데요. 자, 오늘 승리를 이끈 두 선수의 인터뷰 직접 들어보시죠.
So we always have to keep our faith in Kingzone DragonX, and here we have the 2 MVPs of the series. Congratulations on your victory. How do you feel? Every series is so important for us, so I'm really happy that we won. And Prey, well, if you did not get MVP today, I was gonna just call you out for the interview because every fans were so missing for you. Well, I wasn't expecting MVP today, but I guess I have to thank Expo TV for giving me the MVP. And recently, did you see the result of the vote last time about the appearance and good looking? Well, I did. And I also could see who voted for whom. And I think they just did it for fun. Well, you are really famous all around the whole crew in Expo TV. Even some staffs are in love with you, to be secret. And moving on to the games. So how was the first game? Well, yeah, the game was a little bit shaking, but we just said we should just slow down to the late game. I just saw Trey smiling, so it made me smile too.
그 자신감, 상대의 경우 특히 그 자신감을 뒷받침했던 점 중에 하나가 황제의 진영에 대해서 정말 감탄하는
But and you've shown great ultimates today on Azure today. Was that your own decision or a team shot call? I think I just did as I played usually.
그 장면을 준비해봤습니다.
So let's take a look at the clips.
자, 첫 번째 경기 장면에서 상대편을 추격하는 장면을 보고 나서 펼치는 모습이었는데요. 이때는 어떤 생각이 있었나요?
So what was the situation at that moment? We're just trying to get the visions there, but I felt Zarvan coming in, J4 coming in, so I just want to strike back. Well, I knew that we're gonna win the team fight if they bait on Jana, so I think that's how we won today.
들어온 선수를 오히려 타워 쪽으로 밀어내면서 펼쳤던 피넛 선수와의 굉장히 멋진 조화들이 있었거든요. 그 부분을 노리고 있었던 상황.
And I think you showed a great teamwork with Peanut today. I knew the jungler would be camping in the mid lane, so yeah, I was gonna try to just make a counter attack after the gank.
인터뷰를 했을 때 다른 분들과 얘기했었던 영상을 봤더니 촬영하는 게 좀 부담스럽다는 이야기가
Well, and I saw a clip about you saying that filming in your gaming house is a little bit like gives you a little bit burden. Well, actually, I prefer to be on the camera, especially on the MVP zone.
본인이 화면에 나올 때 어떤 화면이 가장 잘 나왔어요? 어떤 측면?
What is your best look? I think this is my best look.
괜찮은 부분이 있다면 어떤 부분이 있을까요? 호흡 가볼까요?
Maybe my nose holes.
조금 더 가볼까요?
Can you show us some of them?
할게요. 우리가 조금 더 가볼까요? 농담이었어요. 글쎄 그러면 안 돼요.
I was just kidding. Sorry, but
근데 이 경기도
they're moving on to the game too.
뭐 전반적인 선수들이 진짜 잘하긴 했었어요. 근데
I think all the players were performing very well.
가지고 집중력을 유지하기가 쉽지 않았던 것 같아요.
But I think it could be a little bit hard for you guys to maintain focus. Yeah, it is true that we couldn't focus really well, but it was lucky for us to win after all.
그 내용에서는 그 김전투에 대한 부담감이 별로 없었습니다.
저희도 원래 이제 좀 긴전투를 할 생각이 아니라
But we weren't planning to have such a long team fights during the games, but I think BBQ made a good back strike, so that's how we ended up in a long team fights.
어떻습니까? 일단 2세트 몇개 장면 중에서 1세트를 먼저 말씀드리면 저희 선수 군단의 방패를 가진 부분에 대해서
And there's a question about your item build. You bought Aegis of Legion. Why was that?
따라가야 되는데 이게 새로운 트렌드다 이런 얘기를 했던 것 같은데
이게 지휘관 하이팀이기도 하고
Well, I can build up to the banners, but I need a little bit more money. So I just want to make most of it, so I just end up buying the Aegis of Legion.
막 너무 설득되는데 지금 맞잖아 근데 왜 웃었어요?
Well, I remember the moment that he told our teammates that he's gonna build up to the Aegis of Legion. I just asked my teammates if it's okay to build it up. And yeah, I thought that would be the best conclusion.
잊지 마시기 바라겠습니다. 그러면 말고 2세트에서는 이게 정말 강민이에요.
And in the game too. And the breaking news that Trey never buys item to make funds. He's always serious in the games.
2대1 그 장면인데 사실 한 2년을 앞에 좀 있는 상황이었고 사실 그 상황
And we also want to talk about the highlight in the game too.
이거 낫지 않은 거는 이런 얘기도 있었거든요. 거기 각을 보신
But you made a solo kill against two opponents. But actually BDD was watching after me, so he couldn't ult. And I see that the enemy bot laner was trying to just get the turret down and just escape, so maybe I could open the team fight on myself. Well, I saw they were backing up, So maybe I can have a chance to open team fight on my side.
달려볼까요? 이 장면이죠.
See there, Tarek wasn't really
이 장면에서
looking on me to get me down, so maybe I could start a team fight to get the Tristana down.
정말 대단한 장면이었어요.
So it was a super play from you. I was like, oh, what was that? Wait, well, I got her down. Well, I got my eyes on him because I had to decide whether I should go ultimate on him or not. But I can say it was a sexy prey today. The last time I heard you singing a song from the Eagle 5. Well, it was so long time ago, so I actually forgot all the lyrics. Well, when I was in elementary school, I was gonna do a performance with my friend with that song. But I just forgot everything right now, so I can't really sing it right now. See the difference in your ID? It says Sexy Prey. And we have a question from the fans. Well, you know, a lot of fans were missing you. So, how many MVP points do you think that you deserve? So these are the MVP points of each player. But maybe you might think that you missed some of it. Well, I was supporting BDD to be the first place. And BDD, are you satisfied with your MVP points by far? So far? Well, just like last year, I'm hoping to get the first place also. And all the fans are so satisfied by your plays. You guys are so close to being the champion of this whole split. Any last message for them? Every matches are so important to us. So we're gonna keep working hard to maintain our first rank in LCK. And pray. Well, I think we did have some shaky moments. But we are in the first place anyway, so thank you for supporting us. And we're gonna make sure to make it into the finals. Thank you. So this will be the end of the interview with Trey and BDD from Kingzone DragonX. So I will hand it back to our testers. Thank you.
Guys, it sounded like a laugh track, but actually everyone got out of their seats and crowded around the interview. They were so hyped to hear from BDD and Prey. Everyone standing because that was the sort of game you want to stand up and clap for. It was fun, it was interesting, it was exciting. BBQ opted in to scaling against Kingzone DragonX. I don't think any other team will do that because, man, getting through the early game against this team is hard. How did only one person die through all of this? They had an execute and Khan made the great escape.
Yeah, BDD technically died, but not to a member of BBQ. And this is how he eventually escaped. The flash comes in and misses. It's just like they're playing a team that's so much worse than them. And at this point, that may just be the case. They look like the biggest boss of all time in a league that I've ever seen. Just heads above everybody else. Even when they play against KT and Afrika, they just look so much better. And it's just highlight after highlight after highlight.
Gorilla
it just
is
never
just
ends.
a monster in this fight, keeping Prey alive. No one had the right to live there. Then Prey decides he wants to be the MVP of this game, walks back, gets the fleet footwork proc, sidesteps a dazzle. Outrageous from Prey in that one. And Kingzone just gets better. They keep rolling. They're so aggressive. We wondered where this was against Jin Air. It was on holiday. It needed a break. Playoffs are coming, and they didn't want to have too much done in the mid-game of the season. But, yeah. You just have to sit back and watch it and enjoy it. That's how it is with Kingzone.
Yeah, and it's huge for LCK as well in terms of getting this win, because a couple more wins and they are solidified for the top spot, getting straight into the finals. And honestly, at this point, I don't think any other team deserves to have that top spot. We're going to have the team that looks like the champion already against someone who's an underdog and will be challenging against them. And that's just the way it's going to be here at LCK with performances like this. Kingzone, make it quick. A quick night for us, 31 minutes, 25 minutes. As we're going to go to the standings as well to see just how ahead they are.
So consider this. They are at +12. Let's assume they win their next 2 series. Let's say 2-0. They'll be at +24. That means the lowest they could finish would be +20, which means that then a Freak of Freaks, even perfect, would not be able to get ahead of them. So there's a chance that the last week of the season, they're going to be on autopilot. They may already finish first. And if you finish first in the LCK, you are guaranteed the grand final, top 2. So Kingzone, DragonX, all of their options are in their hands as we look at the schedule moving to next week. But first, we're going to focus on this week. Clean stuff from Kingzone. It was SKT on the first day, and then ending the season, or at least ending the week, against BBQ, the 2-2-0s. Big stories, SKT going down twice, KT Rolster going down to KSV, and KSV picking up 2 victories to turn around their season.
Certainly BBQ with their tough schedule is looking at near relegations now, unless they can pull off an absolutely fantastic streak. And even then, they might not get out of relegations. And we talk about the differences in terms of the skill gap between the teams. Certainly, Kingzone versus BBQ highlights that very much. We're going to go into next week here on Tuesday. We're going to have Kingzone again up against the Rox Tigers. Should be a cool one. Rox sitting at, I think, 5th place right now, trying to make it into playoffs.
Kingzone versus KT, definitely the big ticket matchup. Second matchup on Thursday over at OGN. And then just a lot of mismatches on paper. KSV versus SKT might be the end of SKT's playoff hopes. If they lose to KSV, they cannot afford to drop more games. Where's Rox Tigers at? Because they may be 0-3 with the rampaging form that Kingzone is in. They play Kongdu Monster. It looks like a 1-1 week. They kind of want to start picking up the match victories. Otherwise, they may actually be ellipsed by SKT.
Yeah, SKT, they got to make it through BBQ first. I have to say it, but they got to do that. And then they go up against KSV, who, again, they defeat KT. They're looking a lot stronger. They want to make it into playoffs. Kind of ramping up when it counts the most is KSV. They got Jin Air first on Tuesday. We'll be casting that one in a couple of days' time. And wow, Papa, what do you think about KZ right now? What do they look like?
You know, they're looking pretty good. They are looking pretty good. I think Kingzone, keep doing what you're doing. Maybe if the teams get stronger, consider 10% less aggression. But in the regular season, keep going because it's just a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. And it's good to have a team that's that dominant too, especially with KT going down to KSV. They were the other really strong, aggressive team, and KSV kind of took them down a notch. So KZ definitely looking like the guy that's ahead of everybody else at this point.
For Kingzone, I think regional domination is not enough. They want to win. They want to go to MSI. They want to actually pick it up internationally. Kingzone is shooting for the skies.
That they definitely are. But the music has started, guys, and that means our stream has ended. Thank you so much for watching once again. We'll see you on Tuesday.